Hello kids, welcome back for the science session week 5 term 3. Last session we were learning about allotments. What is allotment? Allotment actually it is a home for plants. Today we will learn how can we save our plants. What can we do? Let's start. Objectives: to know that animals are suited to the habitat they live in. To know that habitats provide for the animals and plants that they live there. To describe how animals obtain their food from plants and other animals. Success criteria: I can describe the features of a habitat or a local habitat. I know what is essential for keeping them healthy and alive. I can answer and ask questions about the local environment. Let's begin. Let's learn something about microhabitat. Habitat in the local environment, where mini bees live and how they are very useful for our newly grown plants. Let's see. Last session we learned about allotments. Allotments, it's actually a habitat of plants and animals. We have seen how the allotments grow. It provides the plant and animal with food, water and shelter. In allotments, we grow vegetable, fruits and different kinds of plants. We have even seen that different kinds of insects get attracted due to these plants. How can we save our newly grown plants? Did you remember? We have kept a scarecrow to scare the birds and the harmful trees. Here, today we will learn by making microhabitat for the mini beast, we can protect our newly grown plants. Let's see how. Let us know what is microhabitats are. A microhabitat is a very small, specialized habitat such as a clump of a grass or a space between rocks. It is a habitat for extremely small creatures such as wood lice. A small part of a habitat is a microhabitat. A microhabitat has its own condition of temperature and light and its own characteristic species. Microhabitats include the shady area under a tree and the underside of a rock in a stream. Microhabitat look like this, a fallen log. This is actually a microhabitat. It is dark and warm inside. You can see the following creatures found in this kind of habitat. A clump of grass. A clump of grass is a microhabitat. It is home to many mini bees who eat the grass, shelter in the clump and can be camouflaged in the leaves. These are the mini bees we were talking about, which are very helpful in our allotments, which will protect our newly grown plants. Actually, plants will get protected by these mini bees as they are going to eat the prey, the harmful prey. As well as animals are also dependent on the plants and they are going to get the food to eat, which is very necessary to survive. So this kind of habitat should be there in allotment to protect our newly grown plants. Hey kids, now we already know what is allotment is. The home of a plant, a garden or an allotted area in the playground. We can even make our own allotments at home. Now, how can I protect my allotments? There's a question. How can I do that? We observed the plants growing in allotments and we also studied that newly grown plants need protection. Even the scarecrows are kept to scare the birds and the harmful prey I told you. We have seen mini bees too around the growing plants. Can you tell me why these mini bees live in allotments? What it is eating? Will it helpful or damage our edible plants? Do you have any idea? Let's see. Actually, good insect for allotments. Yes, I'm talking about those mini bees. There are some insects do a great job at helping us looking after our plants. Look out for these helpful insects. Which are those? Bumblebees. Have you seen bumblebees? They look like this. Bumblebees loves flowers and they help pollination by taking pollen from one flower to another flower. Isn't it really very interesting? It is so helpful for us. Number 2, the very helpful and a colorful insect, ladybirds. They look like this. Ladybirds are helpful because they eat other mini bees that like to eat plants. Interesting. Ladybird. Now we have the third insect, that is lacewings. They look like this. Lacewings are helpful because they eat other mini bees like the one who likes to eat plants. We have seen insects such as bumblebees, ladybird, and lacewings are actually good insects which help our plants to get protected by the harmful preys. Now we know that these insects come naturally in our allotments. Can you think of any ways that can encourage more of these helpful insects into the allotment area? What can we do? Think that you are planning your own allotment, your own garden, or any plants in your planting something in your playground area. You're making your own allotments and you want to protect your newly grown plants. What can you do? Think. Any guesses? What can be done? Yes? Do you want to share with me? Yes, what we can do? By making a little habitat next to your allotments. Next time, whenever you're going to make any allotment of yours, don't forget to make a microhabitat next to it for the better growth of your plant. Now here I'm sharing an idea. How can you make your own habitat? A microhabitat. How to make a bug habitat. Bug habitat look like this. The picture shown in the here. You can see the picture is shown. This is how the bug habitat look like. What I'll be needing to make this? Let's see. Things you will need. Bugs love places where they can hide and feel safe. And if bugs are safe, they can make safe your plant. Find pine cones. Stick dry leaves and twigs and put them all in a box or a plastic bottle. Same way shown in the picture. What can we do next? You could use sticks or a lot of pine cones. Here you can see in the picture. These are the pine cones. Plastic bottles with lot of sticks. You can make it with the paper as well. So next time, whenever you're making your own allotments or planting any plant, don't forget to make a bug habitat as well. Enjoy making. Hey, we have seen the wonderful insects, the colorful ladybugs, the naughty bees. Let's have a fun activity. Let's make a bee. Bee-shaped picture. Ready for the activity? Here you can see the different parts of bee. You have to assemble them and make a honey bee, a beautiful bee and a very helpful one. This is the one your picture will look like. Paste the picture and make a beautiful honeybee. Next time, so whenever you visit any allotment or a garden, don't forget to observe it carefully and share your findings with everyone. Do observe what was your microhabitat called. What were the conditions for animals who live there? What did you find? What might change the microhabitat? Do observe and do share. Thank you. Where does food come from? What is your favorite fruit? A strawberry? A chocolate pie? Do you know where it Remember the farm visit we have been? Where was it? What was the name? Okay, let me give you a clue. Can you identify where these snaps from? Watch it properly. Yes, come on. Recollect your memory. From where these pictures belong? Where did we snap these pictures? Yes, my kids, are you there? Yes, I feel everybody recollected. See, here we can see the farm animal, the camel. It is a park which we visited where we have seen lots of plants as well as farm animals. What was the name? I don't remember. Can you help me out? Yes, Umeole Marit Park. Remember this memorable moments. We saw lots of plants and vegetables growing in allotments. We even searched for mini beasts as well. It is a farm where we see crops and farm animals. Let's watch a video to understand Let us understand what is farming is. Let's watch the video for the better understanding of farming.
Farming is the activity of cultivating soil for the purpose of growing crops on a large scale and not for personal consumption. It is the most important industry in the world because it produces food. And all living beings need food. If there was no food, no human being would remain alive to work in any other industry. For thousands of years, men have been growing crops because they could not live off wild fruits and berries and wild animals. Gradually, over the years, they learned and developed the best ways of growing crops. The word agriculture comes from the Latin word ager, meaning a field, and culture, that is cultivation. From seeds to our plate.
All our food grows between the sky and the earth. It is tenderly nourished by the rays of the sun and minerals from the soil. It is irrigated by water from rain and melting snow. Food grows wild in nature. Food is also carefully cultivated by us. Have you ever been to a grocer's shop? There are sacks of different varieties of wheat, rice, and let us visit a farm to see how the farmer produces the food. First, the farmer plows the field with the help of tractor. Then the seeds are sowed. Slowly the sowed seeds grow into plants. While these seeds grow, at times some weeds grow around them, which stop the growth of the seeds. The farmer removes these weeds. The farmers water the field and spray pesticides and fertilizers. Once the crops are grown, the farmers harvest them. Then they are transported by vehicle to the markets for selling. We buy these food grains from the shopkeepers, and at last we cook food with these food grains.
Farming equipments. When man first started growing crops, he used animals and crude stone tools to dig the earth for planting. Most of the work he did using his bare hands. Now farming has come a long way. Most of the hard work on a farm is now done by machines, so we can say that farming has become mechanized. Before a new crop can be planted, the ground has to be prepared. Let us look at some of the machines he uses to prepare the fields. A plow is used to dig the land and expose the deeper soil to sun and air. At the same time, it buries the remains of the old crops and the weeds into the soil. This will eventually rot and become compost, so the soil gets enriched. Once the soil has been dug up and exposed to the air, the land has to be evened out and clumps of soil broken. Cultivators and harrows have metal teeth and are used for this purpose. If the farmer feels that the soil is a little loose and needs to be pressed to make it firm before sowing the seeds, he uses rolls for this purpose. Seed drills are used for sowing the seeds. Sometimes the seeds are broadcast or scattered by hand. Big farmers who have acres of land use distributors and special wagons for adding fertilizers and manure on their fields. Sometimes workers use huge forks to spread the manure in the seed.
We have seen the crops, vegetable and fruits growing, but we see farm animals too on the farms. Eggs. Where do eggs come from? Eggs come from hens. Hens often live on farms or in barns. They lay eggs and farmers collect them. We sometimes eat eggs on their own, but we can also mix them into other foods such as cakes and different kinds of puddings. Milk. Yes, think of a milk. How does it come from? Where does milk come from? It comes from cows. Cows often live on dairy farms. The farmer milks the cow with a special machine and stores the milk in a big tank. Then a tanker lorry comes and takes it to the factory to treat it and put it into bottles. Bread. Where does bread come from? Bread, it is made out of wheat. Farmers grow wheat in their fields. In the summer, they harvest the wheat using a combine harvester. The farmers mill the grain by grinding it between two stones. This makes flour. Flour is the main ingredient. Chips. Where do chips come from? Chips are made from potatoes. Farmers grow potatoes in their fields. Potatoes grow underground. In summer, the farmers dig the potatoes up and store them in big sacks. We can cook potatoes in different ways, such as roast potatoes, jacket potatoes, mashed potatoes, and chips. Vegetable. Where do vegetables come from? Vegetable grown plants and underground. Some vegetables grow above ground and other grow underground. Potatoes, beetroots, carrots and turnips all grow underground. Beans, cabbage, lettuce, cauliflower and broccoli all grow up. Can you remember where these foods come from? Next time if anybody asks you, you must be familiar. This is all comes from a farmer. And farmer plays an important role in our life as it provides us with food. This is the worksheet. You will be able to identify farm animals and consider the benefits they get from them. Color the animals that live on the farm. You can see there are different pictures of the animals. From these, which are the farm animals? Question number 2. Name some things that we get from farm animal.